Hey guys, B Twice here. Today is Saturday, August 7th. I hope everybody is having a good weekend. I put out a video about 30 minutes ago. I was going to do IWM with SPY on QQQ, but because this chart is a little busy and I wanted to go over it in a little bit more detail, I figured I would break it out on its own just so that the other video wouldn't be too extended. So with that being said, let's take a look at IWM. So anybody who's watched my videos over the last couple weeks knows I've been pretty bullish on IWM, and then I've expected it to lead the next leg up in the indices. On strong days, it will be stronger than SPY or QQQ, and on weak days, I was still hoping it would be stronger than SPY or QQQ because it has been so beat up and so weak these last couple months. So with that being said, let's take a look at a couple of these trend lines before I go over the wave count. So this white trend line, that is acting as resistance right now. It was also resistance back at the beginning of the uptrend from the COVID crash. So we bottomed after the COVID crash, and then it was acting as resistance until we broke above it, and then it obviously acted as support, which, as you can see here, for a little bit it acted as support. We bounced off of it, and then we ultimately crashed right through it. So that's this line. So this is a trend line that was drawn going all the way back to the COVID crash, and it was initially resistance, became support, and now it's resistance again. Now let's talk about this red trend line. This red trend line was actually drawn on the weekly scale, and it is the trend line that we have respected since the COVID crash. So it's very, very strong support. As we can see, it held again back here when we found bottom. And then I have this dotted pink line right here. This dotted pink line is just basically this channel that we've been trading in. And it actually matches up with the Fibonacci retracement. So I figured it was a good thing to draw on here because we should get another bounce off of it. So with that being said, let's take a look at what I'm seeing. So what I'm seeing so far is that we had a five wave impulse to the upside for a minor wave one. We had a WXY correction for a minor wave two. Then we pulled up for another a minute wave one, we pulled down for a two, and now we're in another five wave, so we're extending into wave three right now. So in the minute wave three, we're extending, and what I'm seeing is that we've popped up for a five wave impulse to the upside, and it looks like we've topped for a one. There is a chance that this could be the three and that this was the four, that we're going to go a little bit higher to find our one, but I'm pretty sure at this point in time that this was our wave one top and that we're going to be seeing a little bit of flush to the downside probably at the beginning of next week. And what it should do is it should be about a 60% retracement of this gain going up. So we may pull all the way back down to 220. So maybe right around this dotted channel line. That's why I drew it, because right in this area, if we do flush, we should catch support. From there, I see us rallying again to the uptrend line, or excuse me, this resistance. We're going to rally up to this resistance trend line. From there, we should bounce off it because that's going to be a wave three. We should bounce off of it, catch support for a wave four. Ultimately, we're going to rally above it and break it. So where do I think we're going? So we're still going to see some choppy markets over the next week or two as this is all decided. But I do see us breaking this resistance. And when we break above it, I think we'll get up to about 235, maybe 233, something in that ballpark. From there, we'll back test the trend line. And then I do ultimately see us rallying. And I do have a price target for our wave five up here at 241. I think we'll find that sometime before the end of August, but time will tell. So now, that would be the bull thesis, and that's where I think that this is actually heading. So I do still think we're going to see some more chop as we bounce between this channel, which, if it does happen, will lead for some good dip buy opportunities and some great areas to scalp on some rippers on to the upside. Because of where we stand in the overall market, SPY, QQQ, it is important to take profits and hedge appropriately in case we do ultimately top and head down for the bear count. So now, with that being said, what do the Bears think? So the Bears think that obviously we're going to either have already topped or we're about to top and that we're going to be breaking to the downside. If the Bears are correct and we do go and we break this channel line and then ultimately we go down and we break this uptrend line, and remember, this is an uptrend line that we've held since the beginning of, or the bottom from the COVID crash. If we break this, then where are we going? Well, we're basically bullish above 217, but if we break this uptrend line, we're probably going to go down to see this 195 range, because that would mean that right here was not a wave 4 bottom and that we're going to be heading lower for our wave 4, and the next most likely spot will be 195. It could be as low as 180, but I would think that we'd catch support in the 195 range. So we really want to watch this red uptrend line. It would be smart to go onto your own chart, look at maybe a 5-year or something like that, and draw the trend line coming off the COVID crash and create an alert off of it. If we break it to the downside, and obviously obviously we did break it a little bit here, but we rallied right back above it. If we break it to the downside and then we back test and ultimately it looks like we're going to head lower, it may be it may be good at that point to take a short position, because if we were to come down right now and break through it, we're going to be breaking through it right below 217. That's why I say obviously we're bullish above 217. If we come down here right now and we break 217, we're invalidating my count. And that's why I drew it right here, because obviously this is a wave one. We're popping up for a one. So if we break this red line, then that means that this is invalid. It could not be a wave one, and there's a good chance it was a top. So it could also be smart to say, hey, if we break 217, let me create an alert. If IWM goes below 217, I want to know as well, because we're bearish below 217 and we're also bearish below this trend line. So maybe it's smart to do an alert off both of them, because depending on where it comes down, as you can see right here, we could break this line and we're above 217, and you kind of want to know both of them, because if we break the uptrend line or if we break 217, that's not a good sign, and there's a very good chance that we're going to be going all the way down to test 200 or 195, somewhere in that ballpark. So I hope this makes sense. If you guys like these videos, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe.